Alright, so previously I showed you how to do one post sim effect, creating bubbles inside the fluid, which can be pretty cool. But there's a whole bunch of other sim effects, post sim effects, and I do encourage you to, test them all out, try them all out, see what you can come up with. In this video, I'm going to show you one other post sim effect that I think is pretty cool, and I think you're going to like and be able to get some really good use out of for your own projects. Okay, so let's open up an example scene here. And the scene I'm going to open up is example 4, post sim effect gradient. This is going to be a really cool effect I think you're going to like. Alright, so I've got no particle effects here, so let's go ahead and set one up. So let's open up the ice tree view over here. And I'm going to go ahead, go to create, go to volume emission. I'm going to pick the emitter, and then the wine glass as the collider object. So let me close that. I'm going to take the main material and get rid of it. I'm going to bring in a liquid water material over here, and I'm going to plug this into the Lagoa phase execute 1 port. Go to add forces, same stuff as usual, take off the air density, going to go to forces, grab myself an air density from over here, plug it into force 1. I'm going to open up the emit grid node, change the resolution per unit. I think I'm going to do something like 0.4 just so we can move a little bit faster here. I'm going to do a hex generation at every frame. I'll do like maybe, I don't know, like a -5 for the Y, maybe a 5 for the Z just to pour this stuff in. Let me hit play, see how this looks. Alright, so it's pouring into our glass here. Let me go back to the emit node. Maybe I don't want to do any force in the Z. That's going to drop down like so. Oh, maybe I'll do a little bit of force. Let's try like a 2. Now I'm just being really picky. Okay, 2's pretty good. Alright, that's good. That's going to work out. 0.4 works out pretty good. Let me try 0.5. I just want this to go pretty quick, so I'm doing less particles. Normally I would do a lot more particles in this, but just for the whole point of this tutorial, I think I'll stick with 0.4. And for the liquid water, take this surface. Not sure what I want to do with this surface tension. Let me increase it to 1. Rewind and play again. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to say I'm happy with this. This will be good enough to show you how to do this post sim effect. Alright. Let me go to the multi-physics node here. We don't need to calculate all of this stuff down here, so let me take off all this unnecessary stuff. I'm just going to leave density and pressure. Make sure you leave density. That's actually pretty important. And pressure, of course, because we're using that for our liquid, watery sort of simulation. Let me close that. Goes a little bit faster now. Pretty good. Okay. Let me see, what else do I want to do here before we move on? I think I'm pretty happy with the way the simulation looks at the moment. Sort of comes in here, splashes in, da-da-dum. Alright, I'm going to say I'm happy. Not going to be too picky about it. You can adjust the simulation however you want. Okay, so there we go. Now with this point cloud selected, I'm going to go ahead and cache this real quick. So I'll go to simulation. Let's go to save cache on selection. Got a little bit of an error right there. Let me check it out. It says command was cancelled. Well, I don't think I canceled the command. Possibly I have another cache of the same name. So let me do this. Let me change the name of this. And let me change it to from basic emission from null. Change the name to gradient sample or something like that. And now let me go back to simulation, save cache on selection, and there we go. Now it's happy. So it's going to go ahead and cache. I'm going to pause the video, skip ahead to when this finishes, and then I'll meet you up at that point. So I finished caching the simulation there. So let me, with that point cloud selected, let me go back to the simulation menu, and I'm going to go to load cache from selection. I'm also going to go down to the multi-physics node and disable it. Alright, so let's play this back, and there's our cached point cloud, as expected. So with that cached point cloud selected, what we're going to do is we're going to apply the Lagoa density color gradient compound to it. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go to the particles menu, go to after emission, kind of like what we did before. We go to the cache sim post effect, but instead of choosing advect points, we're going to choose another one of these different options that we have here. And the one that I want is the density color gradient. We've got a velocity color gradient, but let me go with the density color gradient over here. It's going to ask me again if I want to create a new cache cloud, which I don't. I want to go with the first option. Selected cloud is already cached because I've already done that. Let me refresh the ice tree. So now the cache point cloud has this ice tree on it with a Lagoa density color gradient. You can see the PPG over here. By default, it's sort of this bluish gradient. So let me hit play. Now you can see something pretty interesting. The colors here are actually changing based on the density. So in the middle here where we have a high density of fluid, we get sort of this darker blue color, the color that's on the right of the gradient. And areas where there's less density, we're going to get this sort of light blue color instead. Okay, so let me go back. And we can adjust and change the gradient here to whatever colors you want. So if I wanted to, I could take the max density here and I can increase it. And what this is going to do, it's basically pushing everything toward the left of the gradient, okay? So areas that are very dense are going to be more of this medium blue color, and areas that are less dense are going to be more of this white color. And if I keep pushing it, we're going to reach basically this alpha area that's pretty much invisible or transparent, okay? So let me stop that. Let me render this out. What you're going to see when we render out is we're just going to end up with gray particles. So we can only see the color gradient in our viewport, which is kind of cool, but you're probably thinking, well, that's kind of useless because if I want to render this out, which you're obviously going to want to render it out, you're not going to get those cool color shifts in your render. But there's actually a way around that. Okay? So pretty simple. Just go to this PPG and change the colors however you want, and you can end up getting all kinds of cool effects and things like that. Alright, so that's pretty much, I think that's going to do it for this. Before I end this video, let me go ahead and add a polygonized mesh to this. So I'll select the point cloud, and I'll go to Create, Surface from Point Cloud. There's my fluid mesh. I'm going to increase the detail there. I'm going to use the fluid shaper for this. ISO level, I'll just leave it alone for the moment. Let me lock that down. With the fluid mesh selected, let me go to the form. Let's go to Create, Lagoa Fluid Shaper. Adjust the fluid shaper to whatever settings you like. I'm going to leave it alone at the default settings. I think that's pretty good. Alright, everything looks pretty good here. So if I play this, there we go. There's my actual fluid mesh. If I render it out, the fluid mesh should be just standard gray color, which it is, because right now, if I look at the fluid mesh shader, it's using the default scene material, which is just a gray Fong material, and that's it. Nothing special about that. So let me end this video here, and in the next video, we'll just continue here and finish off the effect.